Hello everyone, welcome to today's special video. Today I'm going to be doing a special video to celebrate my birthday. I've done this before in the past, but actually, to be fair, I haven't done it in recent years, only because I didn't have any good ideas for it. But I figured we could take the time for my birthday this year to look back at some older tournaments that I've played in. Mainly the Go Congresses, because I started doing videos in, I believe, 2019, and so that means there's a few Go Congresses that I never made videos for, and I think that'd be fun to go back through when, by the way, I was weaker as well, and go back through and kind of talk about not only my experience at each Go Congress, but also the games, look through the games quickly, and kind of talk about some of the emotions and feelings I had, because some of them I still remember to this day. But secondly, kind of why I did this, why I played a certain way, and also how AI and modern play would play differently, as well as just being 3 ranks stronger now. So without further ado, 2016, I'm going over the 2016 Go Congress. That was in Boston. That was my first ever Go Congress. And at the time, I was still a teenager. I just graduated high school the year before, and my club presented the opportunity to me to, hey, we want to sponsor you to go to Go Congress. You're not only one of our most stronger players, but also one of our most promising, so we want to sponsor you to go to the Congress. And I was like, sign me up. What was even better is I went with 2 friends as well to Congress. And so this was the first time I had ever actually traveled pretty far for a tournament. I had done state tournaments where maybe I had to go 3 or 4 hours, but having to travel almost double that to get to Boston was quite the experience. And also because this was my first Congress, I didn't really know what to expect. And when I hear like, oh, a week long of games and like 9 days staying there, in my head, I'm like, oh, I'm going to have a lot of downtime. And so me and my friend I stayed with at the Congress in the dorms, we brought a bunch of stuff to do during the downtime. But there was 2 things we didn't realize. 1, we were going to be busier than we thought. And 2, the dorms we were staying at were like a 15-minute walk away from the venue. And so if we did ever want to come back to the dorm in between or during the day, it would be a 15-minute trek, 30 minutes both ways. So we actually ended up, even though we brought out all this stuff, we didn't end up actually using that much of it, although we did do it a little bit before bed. And I mean, we brought a TV, we brought a game system, we brought a board to study with in the room, but not realizing that getting up at like, what would it be, like almost 7:30-ish, playing all the way till 11 p.m., when you get back to the dorm, you don't really want to do that much. Plus, it was very hot, and I remember one of the things I was happy we brought was a box fan, because the dorms were so hot because there's no AC and they were just brick cells basically. And they even provided us a fan, but it was nice to have 2 box fans. So yeah, didn't know what to expect. Brought a bunch of stuff, which meant we had to do. It took like 20 minutes of bringing things up to the dorm, TVs, small TV, but TVs, systems, bags, and then obviously checking out as well. And I'm sure the person at the front desk seeing us do this was like, what are these 2 guys doing? But yeah, first Congress. And I remember this was the Congress, because I remember the date of this Congress because this was the Congress where it was my first opening ceremony, of course. And they made a joke on Pokemon Go. It just came out. And so they're like, oh, you can play Go, but no Pokemon Go. Although me and my friend, not during the rounds, but we were playing a lot of Pokemon Go. But regardless, first day, you do that. Then the next day is the first round. And if you've never been to a Congress and you plan to go one day, it is important to be said that the playing hall can be, especially for first-timers, very intimidating. And so put yourself in my shoes in 2016. The biggest tournament I had been at was maybe and I'm just guessing, but 20 to 30 people, right? So we're talking almost 10 times that in one room playing. And also, my local area in Ohio at the time was not that strong. And so not only is there a lot of people, but there's a lot of strong players. And so it's very intimidating going in for my first Congress. Now I'm kind of used to it. Also, I'm a stronger player as well, but you get kind of used to it. Although one thing you don't get used to is not only the clock hits, but also all the stone taps, because so many games are being played. But without further ado, let's get into the games. So this video is not 3 hours long. I'm going to go through these games kind of quickly. Again, just give you my thoughts, how things have changed, that kind of thing. And I can tell you, sitting down for my first game, paired up against a 4-dan, I remember, again, as a teenager too, was pretty scary. And Raymond, my opponent, he's not a teenager, but he was a young kid too. So I was like, oh my goodness, I'm playing somebody younger than me, but stronger than me, which again, for my region at the time was pretty unheard of. So yes, let's look at what 3-dan me was doing back then. And we get this move, which nowadays you will see, but the variation we choose, you don't really see that often, where we get this variation. So all this is actually, you will see sometimes, but yeah, we get that. And then here's the first strange move, right? And again, you can play this nowadays, but obviously the main two ones are going to be the closer approaches and then white pincers. And that's actually the main thing you'll see that has changed a lot. Obviously, no 3-3s. That's a main thing that has changed. But basically, I think every single game of mine has a pincer. Maybe one didn't, but every other game has a pincer, because pincers were the way to play back then. And again, now, with this kind of pincer, while this is substandard, you would see moves maybe like this attachment, where if white hanes will come out, isolating the corner while maybe being able to attack this group at some point. But back then, it was just okay to just jump up. White plays there, and then cap again, a very caps were all the rage back in 2016. Nowadays, you would see pincers to force white into the center, and then you would go with white, something like this, while setting up potential connections underneath. But caps then were very common. The white goes here, and here's actually, I think I already make a mistake here. So this joseki in the lower left is a very common example of ajikeshi, with the example being white does not want to go here. While it is a big move, black taking here means this cut does not work anymore. You can simply just capture. Whereas while that stone is there, you can cut here because it's an Atari. So white doesn't want to play b2, which is why white didn't. But in the game, when white goes here, I fix here. Once I fix, now white can spend a move to play b2. Now, obviously white can't right now, but I feel like right here, white can play b2. This is such a big move, and I don't think, if I go elsewhere, look how weak my stones are there now in the lower left. So, yeah, I think instead I should take, is the point I'm getting at. Because white will still jump, and we'll just go from there. But this was a hard decision. This is a good move for white. There, and again, another blast from the past, joseki. I've actually recently seen this, and it was weird because it was a Fox game, and you very rarely see this, but for some reason this was the fine art recommended move. I couldn't tell you why in that specific case, but yeah. You would go there, and this is the common joseki you would see, and even white descends, and now black has sente to play here. Yep. And this is when, because keep in mind, I am basically freaking out throughout this whole game. Admittedly, just because, again, I've never experienced such a big tournament. And I'm playing, again, I'm trying to think, was there any 4-dans at the time? Maybe there was one or two, but I very rarely played people stronger than me, even though I was only 3-dan. But so right here, right? There are many moves to play here. The simplest just being jumping out which I think there's no problem with jumping out, but I play this attachment, which again is more me kind of freaking out, trying to be kind of cool, trying to play the cool moves. But I get heavy and I weaken my other side and white gets strong, which is why if you just jump here, the corner's still open. And even if white makes this exchange, probably take Sente, because even after this, I can wedge. So white can't even kick. If white does this way, again, just block, and white's just separated. But after this exchange, and then I even jump, which again, if I bump first and then jump, black's doing okay. But I just jump, and white does a very common Tesuji of this. And I remember this. After this happened, I'm like, oh no, I'm going to lose this game. Obviously, my mentality has gotten much stronger since then. But I was like, oh my goodness, I just messed up. I lost those 3 stones on the right. My stone is just floating on the bottom. This is awful. This game's over already. But I stayed strong and kept fighting. But there was an inkling in me that wanted to resign or give up or just go crazy. But I did not. White comes in, and this is actually one of the Josekis that has survived the AI innovations. Yes, I had to play in. White Ataris here. And here I remember, again, it's weird the things you remember, especially with Goth. I remember here, because at the congresses they have professionals there. I remember Ryan Lee, I believe it was, told me, yeah, you just need to push here. Just create the cutting points. It's not like white's going to go elsewhere and let you cut somehow. So going here allows white to get to Zatari. So now white has no weaknesses. But then white comes in. And this move is surprising because you need to play this when both sides are strong. But if you actually look at white's groups, neither of white's groups are strong. So I peep. And white goes there. Push. And so all of a sudden, white actually has no eyes in the upper left, and white has to worry about the top side. So white turns, poke, I fix, white peeps. This is a good shape to know. I'm actually going back through these games. I'm surprised I know this shape, but you need to attach. You can't just connect, because when white stands up, look at white's shape. So the whole idea is after this, white's shape is now not perfect. And even though white gets its Atari, I can play, as we'll see, this Ko shape, which is threatening to push through. So white takes the Ko, and I play I have so many Ko threats. But this move doesn't even threaten to save the stones. So yeah, not so good. Now, at least the saving grace here is that this move is a heavy Ko for white. Even if white can threaten something like on the bottom, me connecting obviously threatens to cut off the entire upper left. So white does need to be careful, but yeah. This was definitely me trying to play a Ko threat and failing to. White connects, and I connect, and then connect, so I have to run out. So I do have an eye, at least, but white comes in. Yep, and Hane. And white wants to cut, but cutting would mean this becomes a problem, so they have to peep. Connect first, and connect. And now we see white has a weak group on the upper left and one weak group on the top. So the things went downhill for white here, at least so far, when white tried to come in like this. Yeah. Connect, so white's trying to surround. And then white tries to go here. Again, though, I think this is a case where the upper left's bigger. So even if I can get this kind of move, like exchange some moves here, I have to make sure white's going to get Gote, though, but yeah, I could go there, I think. So I just push through, allow white to cut off while connecting here, and then white plays here. And you can see it's a nice idea, but when you're weak up top and on the left, trying to like surround is gonna bite you in the butt. And yeah, even here. Yeah. This peep is way too much, because now you can't even Hane, yeah. And yeah, so white is just... white went all out, which is so shocking to me after such a good result in the lower right. There was like no need for white to try to go all out like this. Push. Yep. This is threatening to play the bamboo joint shape, which is either threatening to cut off this dongo here or the upper left. So white fix. And I get to slide. White plays there, so I can jump. And then white goes here, which white does need. Yeah, it's annoying that white needs to go there. But you can see I'm just able to kind of jump away. White gets this move at least. And here's one of the moves that, because besides the weird moves in the opening, the fighting was, fighting doesn't really change, right? Like the best move in fighting is always going to be the best move in fighting. But right here, the decision making is going to be different compared to modern Go. So right here, I would view this upper left as expendable. If I play there, it's Gote, and I get 3 points. If white plays there, it's Gote, and white gets more than 3, but let's say 15 to 20 points, right? Something in that range. So if I can get 2 moves somewhere worth more than 20 points, it's worth it to go elsewhere. And I think I can. First thing that comes to mind is playing towards the top, or even just covering here. If white wants to kill, white needs to worry about the bottom side. So this would be a case where nowadays I would heavily consider leaving that, but I do not. So white goes there, it is big, but it doesn't help the weak stones, so I get to cover. Now white's bottom group is very weak, so I can slide under, clamp, and then white. This move scared me because this was at a point where, in my Go career, that strong player moves just scared me. They didn't surprise me per se. Well, they obviously surprised me, but my first instinct wasn't like, "Whoa, that's so cool," or like, "Oh, I didn't even think of that," like that kind of thing. It was, "Oh my God, I didn't consider that. Did I just mess everything up?" So when I saw this, I was like, "Oh my God, what did I miss?" Turns out not much. It was a cool move, but yeah, doesn't really do much turn, because again, white still needs to deal with this top group. So I fix. White ends up being able to live, but again, I can go after the top group. And white tries to flail a little bit locally, but nothing quite works. Jump, connect. This reading I was proud of here, Ataring here, and then Haneing, because I can cut here anytime. So I don't need to connect. And getting this Atari means white can only fight the Ko. White can't even push here because I've already fixed that. But after white fixes that, I play there. White tries to get me down to one eye. But when I turn, I have enough space to make an eye, and I have an eye up here. So white resigned here. And it was a big relief. I remember it was a big relief. Because again, getting sponsored to go there as a teenager, my first thought is, oh my God, what if I lose every single one of my games, right? So I didn't want to let my club down. So getting at least one win was a big relief. But also playing against a pretty strong opponent was a good relief. It meant like as well, like, oh, am I actually 3-dan, or am I just 3-dan in Ohio? Like, those kind of thoughts. But I was like, okay, maybe I can hang. And again, what's cool is, and this was like the main thing I learned about the players is, like after this, Raymond and I, we were like buds throughout the whole event, like asking each other, oh, how'd your game go this morning? Oh, how's this? How's that? So yeah, the camaraderie we built was definitely cool, or was definitely an awesome experience. But on the board, I was definitely terrified. So, but yeah, that's game one. I ended up winning that, and I think I forgot to say it, but the time settings were 90 minutes main time, just 5:30 second overtime, I believe. So these are long games, and as you know, even back then, it hasn't changed. Some things just don't change. I was a fast player, so I'm still, all these games I'm ahead of time. And what's cool is I remember, or it's in the files that I still have, I put at the end of the game how much time was left on each person's clock. And oftentimes it's like, I have 50 minutes to their 10 minutes. And I was definitely playing way too fast, because I think you do need to play at a healthy speed, a healthy lick. But for this one, I was definitely playing way too fast. Again, I think part of that is jitters too. Like, oh my God, just get it over with. I'm just so terrified. But So second opponent, Sun Tenching, was black, and again, check out this opening, right? We get the fix, pincer, approach, pincer. So again, pincers were all the rage, and they still are, but they're just less common now, especially this pincer here. Oh, no, actually, what am I saying? It's the variations that are strange, not the pincer itself. Yeah, so attach. And this Joseki was one of the most common, and this is actually one I've maybe not so much studied, but looked at a lot, because I would just see it everywhere. So attach and then peep. And the basic idea is, which we see, is black. If black doesn't take away a liberty, I can capture the corner. So black needs to do something to take away a liberty. So black goes here. But this creates, by doing this attachment first, this creates this net, which is very annoying for black. Now, if you look at black's shape that black gets, surely something went wrong for black, right? Like, look at this result. Like 60 to 70% of black stones are just a big clump, right? So what did black do wrong? So there's a few things black can do differently. One, the key is these two stones are expendable. As long as you're connecting on the first line, you're okay. So one, black can play here. And even if white takes, you can throw in again. So you can see it's kind of flipped now. Now white's the one that gets bad shape. Here, white will leave it, do something else, but yeah, that's the whole idea. And same thing here. You can also Hane under. So when white Ataris, you can just Atari back like this. This is another way to play. But letting me get this squeeze, like in the game, even here, you don't need to save that. If this move is Sente, then you can get a good result. So this was me trying to, I talk about it a lot, where it's, oh, before you connect, maybe black won't connect later, but black, I don't want to capture these two stones. So yeah, but I get that, and then black goes elsewhere, and go there, and another pincer, right? So we've seen 3 pincers in this game. Yeah, so double approach, Hane, and play here. You'll see this nowadays, play there. I think the right side, or playing something here, is big. Again, nowadays you'll see the lean to try to get Sente. But just extend, black goes here. This is a very common move back then. Nowadays you'll see the attachment to try to get Sente. Because what you'll see is I'm able to play this move, which normally, students, if you're seeing this, avert your eyes. This is one of the only instances where you want to play the diagonal against, if you have this kind of multicolored one-space jump, right? Or 2-colored one-space jump. The diagonal is usually a very bad move because after this exchange, your stones are much weaker than your opponent's. So you want to avoid doing that. But the reason why in this case it's good, because there's a very specific reason why we're doing it. If we don't do anything, black can peep here. And obviously if we let black connect, our corner is very small and very, very sad. But if we block here, black can just capture and connect. But by making this exchange in Sente, we have prevented that, because now when we block, now we're fixed this cut at F4. So that's why this is one of the only cases you can do that. And technically, you could go here too, and it's the same thing, but technically, you haven't fully fixed that weakness, and you don't have access into the center now. So, yeah, like this access is better than having to jump later and still being able to get surrounded somehow. So, yeah. It's the only time you'll see me do this. One of the only times. So, it's one of the only acceptable times. But yeah, then I go here, which again, why? Could not tell you. Do I know these variations? Probably not. Like if black went there, but if black had done this one, what my plan was, I couldn't tell you, to be honest. Now, I think my plan was just to take the right side. And I was surprised when black saved. Here, black should just surround the bottom. Because I'm on the 4th line, which is why this move is not so good nowadays, is it just leaves the right side wide open. So it's like if I fix here, then black can still run out. But if I surround these stones, then black can make it smaller by sliding here. So, yeah. That's why this is not so good. It'd be better to play like this kind of way, which you will see this in modern games, and play something like this to prevent that slide, but also make the right side as big as possible. Play there. So then I get to Hane. So I do like my order of moves here, and then play there. Black blocks, push up. And then fix. The black pushing here, yeah. Black should definitely just block here because I can't connect. I just can't connect. And now when I play this move that I play in the game, I'm not connected, and now my bottom side and my right side is weak. But when black pushes, it forces me to make this move. And you'll see black gets Hane. Okay, that's good. But now when black pushes, or blocks here, now black's a move behind. I can push and cut. And black plays into the corner, but you'll notice I just capture the cutting stones. So, yeah, that was a bad result for black. And part of me was thinking, okay, what if I go here, right? Black will get this Atari. This would be actually not so bad for black, all things considered. Well, it's pretty bad, but better than in the game. So I'd like to be able to block here, but what if black saves? There should be some sort of ko here where you can clamp, descend, jump, and then go here, and then black throws in. So there's a ko here. Yeah. So that's why black connected. Play there. Yep. And then black slides, peeps, and then cover. So now black's saying, okay, let me build the center. And I come in. Yeah, I like this move. Black comes out. Black plays that shape that I was just talking about isn't so good. And we can see that. Compare black shape to white shape. I play under. I think here that's unnecessary. I think if I just jump here, threatening moves there. If black fixes, then this right side's getting isolated. And the top side, upper left, is still weak too. So if I just jump out now, my shape is secure. And every move now hurts both sides. By going here, while it does hurt that side, black gets the first move in the center. And now I'm a move behind when black jumps. So now I actually help black connect. Do the diagonal, yes. Hane, and connect. And black says, nope, this is bigger. Then I peep. And black connects. And this was strange what black does here. And I get why black did it. So black goes there. I connect, yes. Black fixes, okay, and then I play here, which separates. But then black goes here, and then I cut. I felt like you can see this move becomes wasted all of a sudden. So, like for example, black could just just start like this, but also like maybe you want to connect here. Yeah, potentially. It just felt like a weird order to connect and then lose those stones anyways, I guess. Maybe black had to. And here I definitely can Hane here. I don't know why I didn't play there. It's not like black's going to connect and let me surround. So play there. And yeah, black has to go there. Black would like to cover, but here just lives. And also maybe I can play this in Sente first. Because if you push here, I can push. And now I'm definitely alive somehow. But I think also this just lives because it's, you can't get rid of this side, you can't get rid of an eye up top. So yeah, I think, right, like here, I can play here and you can't connect. Something like that. So black goes there, but then I can come out. It is worth noting though, if black can play something like this, can black make a big center? Because again, this kind of moves Sente into here, but it's probably pretty difficult. Black gave up the whole right side and starting to give white the upper left. So now it becomes a case of, okay, how do you answer moves like this? Where this not only threatens to separate, but also get into the center, and also white can simply just do this too, and you have problems. So it makes sense for black to try to attack here. So again, just like the last game, and it becomes a theme for my games of me not necessarily leaving behind weak groups, but having groups I have to settle, right? Because sometimes it's okay to leave weak groups if you know you can live, or you know you're going to be okay. But yeah, back goes there, push and cut, play there, jump. Black needs to cover there. Yep, otherwise these two stones can get separated. I cover, which is Sente, and then I make an eye there. But black says, well, that's only one eye. So I make my... You can tell black's really trying to kill me because black even plays M19, which again, now at this point that I've gotten into the center, they kind of need to, but their upper left is surrounded. So I bump, connect, yes. If they connect, they didn't want to see this move, was their thinking. So that's why they connected, but then I can wedge. They jump down, but I can play there. And then they get squeezed, and yeah, they end up dying on the left side. They try playing here, but I can push, and they can't even block. So yeah, pretty exciting game. Again, some weird opening stuff, but the fighting overall, again, the fighting is not going to change much beyond just compared to now being a weaker player than I was then. But yeah, my openings are very strange, I've noticed, and they get stranger as we move on. So let's go to the third game, round 3. It's against David Gleckel. Yeah, let's take a peek. There, yep. And this was actually Kobayashi, very common. Nowadays, you will counter it by going here, but back then this was the way to counter it. And then even playing here, I love doing this opening, where if they play on this side, you get to block and you get this formation, or they push like black does in the game, and I get to extend. Black goes there. And then we get this move. So this move obviously has not stood the test of time. I don't know what I was thinking here. Even if you just think corner, side, center, just filling the bottom right would be better. Okay, let black approach. Pincer, okay. Attach, yes. Hane, fix. And then here, this move is okay, but like imagine I started with this, right? We get this here, here, and then I play here, and then I get another move. I would not then play L4, would I? L4 becomes way too overconcentrated. So even though there's a weakness there, I think I should just play here, because I end up playing here. Because as long as I'm connected, I'm okay. So even though there's a weakness here, I can attach and Hane here. And black's going to be able to get something, but I'm going to stay connected. You'll see I almost waste a move because I go here, black jumps out, which is okay. It's probably a better move to find, but I think, again, for the time, it's okay to play. But then I play H3. So you can see I spent a move to play N4 when I was already connected. And again, nowadays, you would, if I wanted to play something on the bottom, I would play the attach to try to do it in Sente. Even if black stands up, I could then play in the corner. Black Hanes. Just play in the corner. So I'm basically trying to get both sides, trying to get the corner and the bottom. If black ignores, though, then obviously getting some sort of Hane would be pretty nice, even just connect. So going here allows black to descend. So that makes sense. And then attach. So at least I'm settling my groups a little bit, although I am R8 is kind of by itself, and the left side has a weakness. But beyond that, you know, I'm settling my groups. Black pincers. And then we get this move, which I think it's okay. I think here, though, if black descends, I don't really have a good response. Because here, I can't even separate because I'm going to run out of liberties. And even if black gives up, it's a better result for black because white has to spend a move to fix up top. And even getting this Hane here is very painful because if you Atari or cut, I can Atari and then extend. But if you just descend, then I connect, then I'm still not alive. So yeah, I think going down would be better, which again, I'm not sure what I'm even doing up here, to be perfectly honest. It's okay to do, but honestly, I should start from this side to threaten M17. Yeah, so I shouldn't do the attach. That goes up though. So I can go there, and black does cut on the right side, but you can see, comparing the two shapes, I don't have a weakness now. And here, yeah, this is okay, but if black just turns here, it's really minimizing the top. And if I have to connect, then black can still live in the corner anytime, and black can attack the left side. So put this visual in your head of what the board looks like now, but in the game, black covers or pushes and then does this, and I cut. Then black plays here, and then I push. So again, compare. Let's see if I can find it. Not that one. This one. Not that one. This one. Yeah, there we go. So compare the two positions, right? You can see, especially if I get this push here is actually very important for both sides. So you see black made themselves heavy up top as well. So push. Black answers, and I just stand up, which I really like this move, actually. I really do like this move. Play there, kick, and then jump out too. And I do like this as well. I'm staying light. Black caps, though. And here. Again, overall, I think the nerves have started to dissipate a little bit for me. I'm starting to play more normal, although with my usual Soren flair in it. But here, I'm lost at my next move. I go here. I could not tell you what I was thinking. On the surface, it might look okay, but when Black pushes and clamps, I just get cut off. I just get cut off. Whereas if I just simply go here, there's nothing Black can really do. There's nothing Black can really do. Like, if you try to net, I can just push and cut, and I'm going to connect somehow or capture here. Okay, if you push, even if you push and like play this way, you haven't fully connected your 5 stones, and these 2 stones are very worthless. So if I just do diagonal, it's just better. And I think this is where my shape, I was less flexible with my shape. Because even back then I knew, oh, this diagonal, if Black goes here, is bad shape. So I was trying to find anything else to not play this shape. But here it's just the best shape again. Yeah. So I just let Black cut me. Very nice. Oh, me. And Black jump. So now I have to do something with the left side. So I do this wedge, which again is cool. And the idea is when Black goes here and plays here, I haven't used this Atari yet. So I haven't gotten rid of a Liberty here or a Liberty here. Whereas if I did it this way, and Black has to fix somehow, there's a potential cut here, or in Black jumps, there's cuts, so I took away my own liberty. So it's trying to be a nice order of moves, but in reality, if Black Atari's here and cut, and Black connects, with a cut here, and you can't capture these stones, my left side, once again, is just not doing so well. So, yeah, I think I need to do something, but I don't think this was the something. Yeah, but Black plays the other Atari, and I can jump out. And again, this is the right idea. This is the right idea, but I don't like Black's next move, which is to go here. The whole idea with attacking is you're going to get profit, so Black should just Hane here. Just get your profit on the bottom. And if anything, I would play here instead, because this threatens to play G8. This is a very common shape. You have this shape here. You have the 3-space extension, the stone in the middle. You want to look to attach. So, yeah, doing this one almost gives me perfect shape and kind of creates weaknesses for Black, and I can still save J3. So this is almost like Black going all out, which I don't think Black needed to. So I kick. This is now separating. Black peeps. Connect. And then Black has to connect. But Black's not connected yet, and I really like my sequence here of Atari and double Hane. If Black goes here, I could simply just give up and take the left side, which this would be game over. So Black has to do something else. So Black clamps, with again the idea being if I capture Atari, and this would be some sort of ko. And obviously, I think this would be amazing for White, of course, even though Black takes the ko first. Like, Black needs to now ignore these kind of moves, which White will take anything. It's kind of the point. So, yeah, flower ko for White. But I just connect because I'm looking at something else. Atari. I can connect. And even if I lose the 4 stones, I'm going to end up capturing these 7 stones, which would be good enough. So Black pushes and goes here and cuts. I'm like, okay, I'll just take it, but then Black plays here. This is a nice move, but I do make an eye in Sente. But also here, I can just do this. So if I just play here, it might be some sort of ko, but so maybe my way was okay because it avoids a ko. But yeah, this is the ko I'm talking about, like this. Yeah, the thing I do have like some potential local threats though of cutting here, but yeah. Doing this at least did give me an eye in Sente. And look at this right side. Look at this right side. This is where I think my direction overall was worse than my opponent's, but I was getting carried by my reading and how deep I can read. Look at this left side. My question to you, can white go elsewhere? Can white go elsewhere? What do you think? Because in the game, I go elsewhere. I play here. Which is very confident, because if I think I'm ahead, because one, I can play Atari into here, which this is pretty hard for black to ignore. And just by making this exchange, I'm alive. Because now black answers, and let's say I go here, which is maybe bigger than up here. But when black goes here, this is now not threatening to push and cut. I can just make my eye here. But when I don't make that exchange, and I jump, black goes there and I cover. When black peeps here, I have to connect, and then black can push in Sente, which allows black time to connect. So now let me ask you, can white live now? Which again, I'm pretty happy with my reading here. Because if I remember correctly, I did read this all out. Now, I was terrified still, but I did still read it out. So I clamped. Black goes here, there's going to be some sort of ko, like this. And black saying I don't have any threats. So black connects, attach, and then cover. This is to create some sort of cutting weakness potential. Black goes there, descend, hane. And I believe at this point I knew I was alive, which again, I'm very happy with that. Because even though black can poke, I can play here. And this threatens to live. Even if you push, and even if you make this exchange, this Atari, right, is threatening to connect. If you don't make any exchange, though, you do something else, then I can play here, which threatens to live. So black needs to make this move, but I can connect. And black plays there, yes. If you notice, so what ends up happening is I play here, which again is Sente, and push, and then connect, which just threatens to cut, and then I can live. So again, I knew this was Sente, I knew this was Sente, and I knew this was Sente, and that was Sente. So again, I'm pretty happy with this. And I knew I could make an eye here, even if black poked here. So what if black, instead of going here, takes away the eye, right? Or sorry, takes away the eye, something like this. Well, then I can go here, and then I can hane. And the problem with this hane is, obviously black's cut off in this, on the lower left, but also black needs to worry about liberties here. So even if black, let's say, lives on the bottom, right, I can cut. And even though you can net, with this Atari being Sente, I can capture, or if you save, I can save. So that's why black needed to play a move here. But I was able to live. So black comes in. Play here, yep, cut, yes. Black's doing what they need to try to make something happen. I stand up. And then here, I don't understand my next move. Why do I not cut here? Just cut here. No other thoughts needed. Not cutting here lets black get a pretty big corner. Because it's not like black can go down and make anything happen. And even if black can get the squeeze, again, there's not much happening with the squeeze. So you can see black is pretty weak. And if I get this cut and black tries to live, you can see because I can connect either way, this block here is not Sente. So, yeah, I'm just okay. Just okay. So, yeah. But going here first, and then black goes here, you see I try the same thing, but when I push here, I block and then go here, I need to add a move which allows black to turn. I would like to go here, but black can just extend. And if I save, just push here, and I'm in trouble. So just by letting black cut, and I can't cut here, by the way, because when this becomes Sente, this gets, I think it's a ladder, but it gets netted instead. So, yeah. So black gets a pretty big corner as a result. But I get to save there. Black goes here, and I say, well, you didn't fix your cutting point. And so then we get a ko on the bottom. Yep. Black goes there, that's Sente. And then I play here. Black says I can't answer, and then black struggles. But there is something really cool that happens here. When I stand up and cut, I cut here, allowing black to capture two. This is a very common technique. And also keep in mind black can't cut because I can capture, so black has to go here. So I can Atari, throw in, connect, black cuts, I Atari again, and then I do a net again, which is, I do the same exact technique. I get to do the squeeze technique, and black tries to save, but there's just no aji here. Black makes an I fix up top, even though I don't really think there's anything there, but just fix, because I knew black was not alive here. Black goes there, Atari, and yeah. Black resigned here. So after 3 rounds of straight up nervousness and anxiety, I do end up at 3-0 after 3 rounds. And if you've never been to a Congress, the middle day, which is usually Wednesday, it's usually an off day, but if you want to, you can play in the Die Hard, which I did actually play in the Die Hard at this tournament. I think I went like 2-1. I think there's only 3 games where I didn't play in one of the games, but this is one of the things I did regret most about this Congress is I didn't actually get to see Boston. I didn't actually get to see any of the city. Whereas I think since we are going in 2 different places around the country, I think it is worth trying to see the sites that each city has, especially when, who knows when I'll be back in Boston, although maybe next Congress, who knows. But yeah, I just played Die Hard again, and because it was a 15-minute walk back to the dorm, I was tired, I didn't want to do anything, and yeah. So I didn't really get to see much of Boston, but that's okay. On to the next game. Here we are, round 4 against Kelu, which again, my second round opponent, I forgot to say, was somebody else I ended up being friends with, or at least at the Congress. And then Kelu was somebody after the game as well. I remember we had lunch and we just talked not only about our game, but just like, oh, how'd you learn? What are you up to? That kind of thing. So yeah, super friendly people, and I love that. So I played this. So when I cut, I'm threatening to capture. So Atari, and I kind of glazed over, but again, this 2 space into 2 space was very common back then. Play there, yep. So then white goes into the corner, and this technique you still see. This is nice. Connect. Then stand up, that's a big move. And then white goes elsewhere. Which, yeah, I poke into the corner. So now I've cut off this stone, and I run this stone out. So, yeah, and this is good timing as well. White is planning to give up these 4, so get this now while these stones still have all their liberties and are still alive. But even with that said, that's still a pretty big capture. White comes in. Peep. And then can play in, yes. And all this is normal. Connect. Play there. And then play there, yes. And then I go elsewhere. But here, there's a very key move here for both sides. And I need to make some sort of extension. Because if I don't make that extension, white can play here. And this is absolute sente because of the corner. If I do something else, white can peep here or even be more aggressive now. Peep here. But I think peep here. I think just go here. It works. If it works, just do it. So I would have to play a move like this, but then that's already a good exchange. So I think I need to add a stone here. Because even I think white might be able to just directly play here. And even if this happens, that's a good exchange for white to make. But then we get this move, which one of the things I often credit to my improvement was I was always willing to try moves, even if maybe they were conventionally bad, right? Just try moves, try to play my own style, play my own moves, that kind of thing. So I played this. I may have even seen it in the strong player room as well, because that's another thing at the Congress. There's a lot of I actually didn't go to the Masters room at all because this was my first Congress. I didn't know it existed, to be honest. But they had a lot of pro events. One of them was actually Baoyun versus Ryan Lee. The Baoyun is like the blindfold champion or whatever his title may be. But basically, he played Ryan Lee blindfolded, and it was like a big deal. It was streamed and everything. And I remember watching that and being enamored by how is that possible? But getting back to my point, as I always tried to experiment with moves. So maybe this is that. Also, I never liked the Great Sword, this Joseki, so that could be me avoiding that. But yeah, white comes in. As expected, I just get cut. So again, not sure why I thought it would be good, but I do have a cool move here. And this is one of the moves I'm most proud of in this Congress. Where if I Atari like this, I don't really get anything. And if I Hane, same thing. I'm just heavy on this side and I'm heavy on the other side. So I would like to be able to capture this, but right now I can't. So I have to find a move locally that will help me after I've made these pushes. So I play here. And if white just answers, then I would be able to net. That's the whole idea with this exchange. Whereas if I tried to net earlier, I would just be helping white run out. So very happy with this move, especially at the 3-Dawn level, being able to see this. Yeah. White cuts. Don't think cut is so good, especially after this result, and then I even get this move. So white answers. And then I approach. Again, this was one of the most common variations you would see. And then extend. And here, this is a spot where both players missed a move. So one, white needs to go here. This is a very big move. If you put yourself in black shoes, how would you answer this? If you just block and I take, I don't really see you fighting this ko. Maybe you have ko threats up top, but even if you sacrifice the whole lower left, that might be too big. So let's just say you answer. This is already a good exchanges for white. Okay, so maybe we don't want to do it. What if we connect? When white connects, this creates weakness at O3. But we really want to play G2. If we play G2, we get attacked on this side. And something will most likely work. Even if these stones get captured, you're going to get sealed in somehow. And if I fix on that side, then this extension is way too big. So yeah, and conversely though, I should play here. Because it's very similarly, if white goes here and I just extend, like even if white quote unquote wins this ko, it's actually not that, like getting these ponukis is not that important. But again, I don't think white can just win it outright. White has to spend some moves, to do it. So yeah, I think white needed a Hane there. White goes there though, play here, white attaches, we finish up this corner, this is threatening to cut here. So white covers, play here. So I'm like, okay, we're in endgame. We are pretty much at endgame. So again, this game, pretty solid, and we do just go to endgame very quickly. But yeah, I'm very happy with how I'm playing. Again, you can kind of see I start to kind of get my mojo, my groove with these games. Even though I am 3-0 right now and freaking out. Like, I'm playing very confidently, especially, again, against relatively strong players. Like, again, 4-Dawns didn't really exist in Ohio back then. So, yeah, very happy with my play overall. So we just kind of do endgame. It's not that exciting, so I'll just quickly move on. But there is fireworks right at the end, so it's not over yet, per se. We have a ko. We have a half-point ko, right? And so play here, finishing things up. So we have this ko here. Black does have a lead without it, though. You can see white has, besides the left side, white really doesn't have any points, whereas black's right side and bottom are quite substantial. But obviously we didn't know that at the time, so we're fighting for every point. And basically the bottom line is black has enough ko threats to win this, but white's going to keep playing the ko because why not, right? The problem is when white plays here. So this is one of white's ko threats. Again, if white's trying to win the ko, white has to play this because white only has 2 threats here with playing here and then here. And then this push here that white did in the game. But the problem with that push is, one, again, black still has threats. Black can go 1, 2, and then 3. It's because, and black can technically use these if black needs to. But this is why black's not using this ko threat. Because right now, if you use it, like here, and you try to make something happen, nothing's going to work here. You can't cut. You can't cut directly. It doesn't threaten anything on the other side. So there's just nothing there. But when white takes away a liberty, you can cut here. And again, if white just went here, like no problem, but you obviously lose some points, so white connects. But there's a good order of moves, because again, if you cut, white just goes here. And you can't cut directly, and if you go here, or if you go here, this is the problem. I meant to go if you Atari first. There's nothing. But yeah, if you stand up, now white has a problem. Because if you connect, cut. If you Hane, Atari. And if you connect, cut. So white actually loses the whole thing. But yeah, overall, I feel I'm feeling more confident with every game. Which I'm gonna need in the next 2 games, because now we're getting into the meat of the matter, where we're getting into, like, the first few rounds are always, you can see I was paired against 2 4-dans and 2 3-dans. Like you're put in this range of opponents, right? And they're relatively in your range, right? And so like this 4-don, I'm gonna guess if I was 3-0, this 4-don would have been 2-1. If I was 3-1, I mean, or 3-0, this 4-don was probably 2-1. So they kind of like, okay, if you lose a round, then you play somebody slightly weaker than you that's doing well, that kind of thing. But now, since we're in the final 2 rounds, you're basically going to be paired with people in your division, and they're going to be also have very good records. So my next opponent, Dominique Cornerjol, they're pretty sure they're French, so I'm definitely messing up that last name. But black here is, again, probably somewhere in the like 4-0, 3-1 range. And it's cool because since we have 2 rounds left, I'm pretty sure there's a top 4 breaking away. So basically, these are going to be deciding the top 3 in the division, and somebody's going to be left out at this stage. So, and you will see this game, oh my gosh. If there's any game I'm least proud of, it's this game. And you can even see, just starting out, I'm playing kind of not suboptimally, but just kind of unnecessarily, right? Like approaching here, black just answers, and I leave it, right? Did that really help me? It's hard to say, right? But you'll see. So back off, white plays there. We talked about this earlier. This is a very common move. This move, not so common though. And I think this is what kind of threw me off here, is I'd never seen this move before. And so I kind of went berserk and played here. And so you can see none of my stones have any relationships with each other, whereas all of black stones are working together. Black plays here. And so, okay, maybe I'm going to give up that stone I just played, but nope, I'm going to jump. And you see what I'm doing here. 1 is not good, but 2, I'm making 2 weak groups at move, what are we at, 18? Yeah, not good. Black comes out. This is a very solid move. I come out, yes. Black extends. Then I push again, yes. I play in the corner. Black blocks, then I play here. So I'm settled for now, but this allows black to attack me on this side. I come out. This is black's first really questionable move, only because you're kind of protecting an area that's already pretty strong. So it'd be better to just play away from that area to threaten the top. Again, nowadays you'd maybe see the shoulder hit, or maybe this kind of move. I like this move a lot. You see me play this quite often. Or continue just picking on the bottom. But black goes here. Yes, and then I make another group. It's total insanity. Again, I don't know what got into me. If I had to guess, I think knowing that, okay, if I win this, I'll be 5-0. I am guaranteed at least 2nd place. And I think the taste of victory in my first Go Congress, or at least my first, like top 3, was getting to me, where I was trying to do so much extra to try to make it happen, when in reality I'm making my plans worse, or my possibilities worse. So black just jumps. Very reasonable, and I jump out. And like here, this move looks nice, but it just doesn't work. If I simply just clamp here as black, what you can see is threatening to cut knight's moves, but also is a clamp, so I'm only down to 2 liberties. Just nothing works. If white goes here and clamp, you can see black can save this or cut here. And even if I save, how should I even save? Like if I save like this, then black still gets this Atari, and now I'm separated. But if I try to prevent that by going here, I actually haven't saved that yet. So black could maybe ask with this, and still come out, right? And so I still need to connect, but there's no real eyes there. And yeah, this is just awful for me. So I'm still coming out. I'm still fighting here. Black plays there. But okay, you know, black's willing to take that. Maybe I'll be reasonable now, right? No. Not only do I just extend along the side, but I don't even extend to like make a proper extension on the right. So again, whoo, was I crazy? Don't know what I was thinking. So black again attacks me. And so I save. Which again, black goes elsewhere, but black can just destroy this left side. And you can see I haven't really been making points at all. No points have been being made here by me. So again, don't know what was got into me, but yeah. And then I even pincer. I'm doing a number of groups world record. How many groups can I make on this board? So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 groups, 8, something like that. So black jumps, play here, and this makes total sense. Black does not need to do anything crazy to win this game. Because again, all of my last moves, besides this one maybe, have not gotten me any points, and K2 is pretty big. That's why actually, like after this, black should play J2. I should mention that. Yeah. Black's very weak here, so yeah, that was a good move to get, but yeah, I'm not making any points. And so capping here is just a nice calm way to attack this group from afar. And then I go here, which, why am I not playing? I'm like playing as if black doesn't have all their artillery facing this group. I'm playing as if the board's empty. But there's just so many just problems in my shape. So black just attaches though. And I even push, and I double Hane here. What am I thinking? This is insanity. So black cuts and extends, okay. And I even save. So I'm just so shocked by my play here. I don't know why black doesn't Hane here. Yeah, I don't know why black doesn't Hane here, but yeah. Black goes there and just stands up. Yeah, this might be black being a little too passive. It's just Hane forced me to make bad shape somehow, like this. Or like this, right? Maybe they didn't want to hurt the Aji of that upper right, but one, there's still so much Aji, and two, like, where am I going with these stones, right? They're just so weak. And the left side is just way too big for me to ever consider giving up. Black just stands up, so I push again, yes. And I block, yes. And then black goes here, yes. I go here, which, okay, that's a nice shape point, but if black just goes here, this would devastate my shape. This is the shape point here. Not only does this threaten to play moves like K, like if I try to come out, this threatens to continue to separate me. But you'll notice this becomes the key shape in my shape to let me make two eyes. And you can see I'm so far away that black can just separate. Black can just simply separate. And even if I'm just not going anywhere. So yeah, this is a little passive. And I can clamp. Black connects. You can see now I'm starting to make two eyes. So black actually played in a way. Black cuts off the left, but I'm in a pretty solid shape and I can connect anytime. So I'm like, okay, I'll go elsewhere then. So black gets the left side, but all of a sudden, after I surrounded the upper right, black's only points are on the left side. So now black needs to make something happen here. So black goes down. So I Hane, make two eyes, start to make two eyes at least. So black plays here. And here I was very confused. Black just goes here and allows me to kick, but why doesn't black just go here? All right, this is absolute sente. Yeah, well, I guess because I can live anytime with the clamp. Maybe it's not fully sente. It just felt like letting me get this, which clearly takes away the eye, felt really good. Now, obviously, black can go here, which is nice. And again, I still have problems, but I would try to get 018 as black at least. Black had maybe a better plan though, so go here because I'm trying to make all this hold. Because again, realistically, I need to kill this to win this game. Hane, fix. Then black plays here. This is very nice shape recognition. Again, we have a knight's move, and you have the dog face spot, right? Think of it like destroying the bamboo shape. You play where your opponent wants to make it. So if your opponent has a knight's move, you want to play at the dog face shape. That's how you destroy the knight's move. Because now you can jump across. Play here. Yep. So now I have problems. Play there. Yes. So now I need to somehow make the right side live, this side, and the upper right. Black connects. Play there. Yes. Black just stands up. And I find a pretty nice move here of just being able to clamp. And this is where all my stones magically start to work, where if I do this directly, I'm going to get cut, right? Somehow. So I can clamp first. And if black fixes there, I can fix this way. And again, miraculously come out. And again, even if I get separated, I just need more liberties than this group here. Which might be pretty close, to be fair, but yeah. I don't need to technically live. I just need to connect. So that's what I do. I connect, and then black attaches here. And black actually gets a chance here, believe it or not. So I peep, and black attaches. This would, if black did this, this would be like amazing. This would be amazing. But black makes a mistake here and just goes here. But now black's run out of forcing moves. So black has to connect, and then I'm able to Hane. Black goes there, so I live. Black plays here, and then I push, which is just fixing my shape, trying to do it in Sente, and black resigned. So somehow I was able to come back. But right at the end, even right at the end, black had just thrown in and kind of done the vulgar thing of just play all the forcing moves. If black had connected here, black's going to win any sort of semi-I here. Yeah. So, and even if black doesn't want to play the semi-I, you can just let me cut here, and then you just do other things. So again, you do have the left side, so losing 6 points is not that big. So you do need to worry about these tones. So maybe, since it works, just go here. But yeah, black resigned here. So that meant after this, honestly, horrendous game by me. And again, I am a fighter, and again, I'm pretty sure black was getting low on time, which was leading to a lot of the mistakes. But black was playing very, very well, and just let it slip. Just let it slip. Basically, let me living in the center be too comfortable was black's problem. But yes, now we're on to the final game, the final round. And again, I believe either my opponent was also 5-0 or was 4-1. And if I had lost this, we would both be 5-1. And who knows, it could be up in the air who wins the division. And so, again, I can't start to explain to you how nervous I am. Again, a whole exhausting week of playing 5 3-hour-long games to now be at this moment. Whew, very nerve-wracking. Very, very nerve-wracking. And again, we see that kind of like in the last game in my play. And so overall in these games, and this is actually, nowadays this is kind of the move, but back then this was not a good move. So it's kind of weird how, again, I'm not going to, say, oh, I've predicted the AI moves, but it is kind of coincidental that some of the moves I have played have been said to be okay by AI. But yeah, one thing I noticed with all these games that I've improved on, not just like skill-wise, but just literally improved on, is direction of play and taking care of my groups. It's night and day. And again, we see that in this game too. So white goes there. Again, this was an old school Joseki. Yeah. Here, though, there's a very important move of going here, which creates some really cool aji in the corner, actually. If white hanes, this would be a mistake, actually, believe it or not, because I can play here next. And obviously, if white takes, I can go under, so white will probably separate. And if I just Atari here, there's not really anything, but I can play here first. And because I've pushed at f4, if white descends, me playing here is an Atari. If I didn't do that exchange, and I just did this to begin with, this would not be an Atari. So that's why I need to make this exchange. So I can do this. White has to take, then I can go here. This is a ko. If white wants it to be, white probably just wants it to be, and then I can extend. And so this is a shape that it's kind of been ingrained into my brain. Yes. So white can just leave it. Like white doesn't want to just take, because even if I just jump, the shape's over-concentrated for white. So white usually just leaves it. And it doesn't mean I'm going to do that if white doesn't answer. Or like it's not like I'm going to do this automatically. Like in this case, I'd probably still play here to connect up my stones. Although back then, I didn't really know what connecting stones meant. So, but I just went elsewhere. But I think I should play f4. Play there. Yep, play here. And then extend. Yes. And then white goes here. Push. And then play there, which again, it's very similar to last game where white is stronger here. And so there's an obvious weakness at L3, which creates a weakness at H3. So I should play just a nice calm move of here. It's a very nice calm move. But instead, I play there trying to attack this super strong group. I'm not sure. But then white pincers, that makes sense. I play here, okay, that makes sense. Now white comes out, which makes sense again. And then we go here. Which again, you can see my direction of play here is awful. Why did I make white stronger by going here to then jump out? How many? Where are my points with these stones? So, if anything, I should just back off. This would be a kind of move you would see back then, or try to give it on a small scale. What if I like jumped here? If white answers, then I can slide. All right, giving it up on a small scale. But no, gotta save everything. So white jumps out, and again, no points being made here. And then I even go elsewhere. Oh, please somebody help me. I even go elsewhere. That's not even the biggest place to play if I go elsewhere. I could help the bottom. I could play in the corner. Fix the corner up here. Just extend here. So white just jumps. So I jump. This is where, again, AIs have helped us. Where if you don't make anything great with this move, you won't get much. So white needs to just come in now. Just come in now. Or threaten the right side now. Knowing that black has a heavy, weak group on the left, you can start to attack something nearby. So that's why you can attach here. Where if you just start to do attachments, you can see all these moves, if black just answers quote unquote normally, are hurting black's group. But just jumping is a little too soft. But white had a nice plan. White jumped to get this move. So kick. And now white shape is perfect. And then I play the 3-3. Yes. And then here, this is where, not that it's a huge mistake, but white does not need to fight here. White should just play a move out in the center like this to continue attacking here. Again, I don't think black's going to continue on the right side. When white goes here and lets me cut, I can actually use the stone at M8 in the local fighting here. And we see that. So block, play here, this exchange, take away liberty, but play here. White pushes, so I come down. I come down again. And then I Hana here, which is so wrong. Simply put, it is so wrong. Because these 4 stones are not valuable. And so I'm leaving not only my center group, but my right side group to be under severe attack. So if white just jumps here next, I don't know what my plan is. Because again, it's not like there's a lot of Aji here when I can get hit with the Goblin's Nose. So, yeah. But white pushes here to go after the 2, which allows me to get this move, which helps me on the right side. Or helps my center group to attack the right side. So we get this. White Ataris. Take. So now white can't cut, even though this is usually okay to do. And then white could be able to cut here too. So play there. So come out. Yes. So somehow, some way, again, I still have a myriad amount of groups on the board, but somehow they're all starting to settle. With white not gaining a whole lot. Because technically white has a weak group on the right side too, but yeah, push there, that's Sente, stand up, Hane, play here, white fixes, push, and then white goes elsewhere, which this makes sense. It is still bigger for white to play in the corner, something in the corner, than to just take here. As you see, white will just end up taking just second line territory. But then we get this cut, which again, kind of like in my 4th round game, where I had a stone that I couldn't save directly. How should I, or that I can't capture directly? I mean, how can I use a local move? And I do it by doing this move, which this creates somewhat of a ladder breaker. White goes there, and then plays here, but then I can Atari. And if white were to save, you can see how painful this is going to be. Yeah. and then just save. Yeah, you can see. Very, very painful. So white fix, and I can fix. And then white covers. And then play here. Yep, and so again, all of a sudden we're in endgame. And again, I think white could have had a much better attack on all 8 of my groups, but yeah, it did not. Again, I think time pressure is a thing too to keep in mind. Yeah, this is a big move too. Need to get this Atari in, especially if this descent I'm going to view as Sente, which I think it is. Like even here, I should Atari. But yeah, that's a big end game. Connect, cut. Yep, so white goes here. This move just doesn't work because this moves Sente and this is a live shape. So I peep first, let white connect. I do need to be careful now though. Now, technically something works there. But I'll still be able to capture these 2 stones, which is what's important. So go there to prevent this peep here. But yeah, we're just kind of in end game now. And it's very close. Very, very close. Like this game, surprisingly, because again, I felt I was playing so bad. But surprisingly, this game never got more than 8-point lead either way. Now, as I'm sure you could see, white had the 8-point lead very early on. Like white was doing very well in this game, but it was just descending was when things got kind of risky for white, and then this whole fight here was kind of what made things fall apart for white. But yeah, just playing endgame now. This was also weird. I don't know why I don't just peep. This isn't like the hardest read ever. Just connect under. Even if white captures, I can kill the corner most likely. So yeah, I don't know why I gave white good shape. Again, this is good before I connect, get some forcing moves, because white might play differently. And yeah, we're just kind of finishing up. But again, there is fireworks right at the end. As you know, lowly 3 dons. And when they're low on time, things happen. So white goes there, Atari, connect. And white realized, oh, I can't connect, because if I connect Atari, and then I can go here, right? So white just has to leave it, push here. And this is, when I cut, I'm still threatening the snapback. But white went elsewhere, and I got to throw in. And then white resigned. And this makes sense. White told me that they thought they fixed here, which would make this gote. And I could totally see that. So they just kind of played in the wrong spot. And yeah, with a big relief, just like now, I ended up winning this game and ended up going 3-0 in the, or 6-0, sorry, in the 3-don division, which again, I didn't know how I would stack up, again, just playing in local tournaments. And so I was very relieved and pleased with how I played. And I'm very happy I have all these games saved as well, which is why I love, or which is why I don't mind recording my games while I play them. But yeah, what a relief. I remember for getting first, I got a bunch of cool, not only trophies, but also prizes. Because they let you, when you got the trophy, you could pick out some prizes, some books. I got like a free board. I got a coupon for an online school. I got a whole bunch of things. And because one of the friends I went with was the youth coordinator at the Congress, I ended up being able to get a bunch of freebies there too. But yeah, don't want to delay this video any longer. I know it's going long. If you're stuck with it so far, thank you for that. I've really appreciated it. And yeah, happy birthday to me. Here's to many more years of Go. If you have any questions or comments about any of these games, please let me know in the comments. And I'm debating, I probably will. So if you are interested in these games, check the description for each of the games. And I'll also put timestamps to where each game appears in the video as well. But yeah, thank you so much for watching this video with me. And thank you for supporting the channel as always. I really appreciate it. And yeah, I'll see you all in the next video.